Welcome to this training video about sustainable forestry principles and the Sustainable Forestry Initiative. This video is for loggers, operators, and other harvesting professionals to help you understand who SFI is, how our work advances sustainable forestry, and why we care about logger training. I would like to start off by thanking the SFI implementation committees across the US and Canada. These now 35 committees collaborate with forestry companies, professional associations, universities, government agencies, landowner groups, conservation groups, and many others. Together, they promote SFI standards to broaden the practice of responsible forestry. SICs work with logging or forestry associations and others from the forestry community to foster continuous improvement and professionalism of the forest product sector by overseeing logger training. Logger training is a core requirement of the SFI standards. Loggers who are aware of their role as responsible professionals are better equipped to protect the environment. That's why SFI contributes to the training of thousands of people each year to improve their forestry practices and learn about the value of sustainable forestry. Logger training is a very effective tool in promoting sustainable forest management and has been a key component of the SFI program since its inception. Trained loggers are able to work with landowners to help them understand the benefit of sustainable forestry and SFI certification.
SFI is an independent, nonprofit organization that works across the US and Canada to advance sustainability through forest certification standards, conservation, community engagement, and environmental education. Our mission is to advance sustainability through forest-focused collaboration. Organizations that utilize the SFI standards include private forest landowners, public agencies, manufacturers of paper, packaging, and wood products, indigenous communities, universities, and more. The SFI Forest Management Standard is the world's single largest forest certification standard. SFI's mission and vision are the foundation for our 13 principles. SFI certified organizations support these principles because they believe everyone in the forest supply chain has an important stewardship responsibility and a commitment to society. The marketplace is increasingly demanding assurances that supply chains are sustainable. Markets rely on forest certification systems like SFI to deliver that assurance through third-party verification. SFI standards, and specifically our support for logger training, have also been recognized for contributing to state requirements for water quality. The National Association of State Foresters applauded SFI for making important contributions to improved implementation of best management practices for water quality through logger training and landowner outreach. Over half the drinking water in the US and nearly 2/3 in Canada comes from forests. SFI's work to advance sustainable forestry is ensuring the conservation of water resources.
SFI works with forest landowners and managers across the United States and Canada to set high standards for how forests are maintained and sustainably harvested. This means managing forests for purposes beyond just production of wood products to include values like water quality and ensuring a diversity of species in the forest. The SFI fiber sourcing standard advances sustainability by elevating procurement practices and environmental performance of tens of millions of acres of forest land that may not be certified to any sustainability standard. It also includes training and outreach, addresses the conservation of imperiled species, and requires using trained and qualified logging professionals. These standards are updated every 5 years to incorporate the latest scientific information and to respond to emerging issues. These revision workshops are open to the public.
We now have an opportunity to work together more closely than ever before to support both rural and urban communities across the U.S. by tackling climate change, combating the wildfire crisis, establishing environmental justice, and improving our workforce. SFI has a long history in certification standards to ensure that wood products are sourced from sustainably managed forests. The new standards are consistent with Forest Service goals, and they also include requirements like conserving wildlife habitat, providing clean water, train logging professionals, and support conservation research.
Sustainable forestry speaks of a long-term commitment to a renewable resource that's critical for any number of industries. In the book publishing business, without paper, we wouldn't be able to stimulate imaginations, to have people read authors who share adventure, but also so that we can have that combination of trust and verify. So certification is the verification of our tendency to trust our partners, but we're held to a standard from our customers where we expect that they want us to be dead sure that things are as we represent them.
No matter where you are in the country, the SFI standard has been implemented for the past 30 to 35 years. And the nation's forests have become healthier. Our water standards and quality have become healthier, and it's been a tremendous asset for the industry overall.
Third-party independent certification is a cornerstone of the SFI standards. It verifies that all requirements set out in the standards are appropriately met. Auditors from accredited certification bodies visit active harvesting sites and interact with loggers and other harvesting professionals. Forests that have been harvested recently are also checked to ensure that SFI requirements have been met. SFI certified organizations must undergo surveillance audits each year and a full recertification audit every 5 years. SFI certified organizations must also document certification audits and make them available to the public. Continual improvement is built into the SFI certification standards as we monitor, measure, and report performance. At the heart of this approach to audits is transparency.
Loggers and other harvesting professionals are at the very core of sustainable forest harvesting operations. Since 1995, SFI organizations have contributed to nearly $75 million to support local programs through SFI implementation committees. These programs include logger and forester training to reach thousands of independent contractors who are the key to sustainable forest management. On average, since 2015, 10,000 resource and harvesting professionals have been trained every year.
We all were following good practices in the woods, but we wanted to have a uniform standard, if you would. No matter if you're working in California or you're working in Maine or you're working down here where we live in Florida and in South Georgia. You know, we're working under standards, and we're working for the best betterment of the industry, the best management practice. That's what BMP stands for, best management practices. That's what we're doing every day to ensure the next generation has a stand of timber to cut, but not just that right there, but we all, as stakeholders in the industry, have good clean water, and we're meeting those criteria. So we don't think about an auditor coming, we just do what we do. And what's interesting is the standards can't be met unless we as loggers do our job and do it right.
Well, long story short, I value SFI training. Well, I think it's helped loggers in a lot of ways when it comes to working with mills, especially when it comes to selling the timber, and just thinking about the bigger picture, especially, and having a set procedure that you're able to change a little bit to specific needs of different jobs is really important, because sometimes you're just cruising along doing your thing, and those best management practices kind of keep a guy in check. They're important when it comes to the day-to-day and remembering at the end of the day why we do what we do, which is at its heart sustainability.
Many of our stakeholders, they may not realize how important the economic and environmental benefits of our forest are. We want all natural resource professionals to be fully trained and be able to share that information with all stakeholders, and these trainings help to make that possible.
SFI principles support conservation in our forests. This means providing for regeneration after harvesting. It also means protecting and maintaining long-term soil health, water quality, species habitat, and much, much more. We use best management practices, or BMPs, developed by federal, state, provincial, or local governments. BMPs can also be developed by conservation groups. The BMPs required by SFI are designed to be the most effective and practical ways to conduct a forest management operation while addressing environmental considerations, such as protecting water resources. Although BMPs are voluntary in some states, SFI requires compliance with BMPs in all SFI certified forests and in all forests providing fiber to SFI certified mills. SFI works to protect biological diversity by protecting and conserving animals and plants and wildlife habitats. SFI is also the only forest certification standard that requires its certified organizations to invest in research. This is important because it allows our practices to evolve to keep up with the latest science. These research results help improve the SFI standards and provide the data and evidence about how SFI certified forests are helping address critical issues like climate change, biodiversity, and water.
SFI is committed to improving the practice of forestry on all forest lands in North America, whether boreal forests or temperate forests, whether naturally regenerated or planted forests. Our philosophy is that healthy, productive forests yield immense environmental, social, and economic benefits and mitigate the impacts of climate change by absorbing and storing carbon in trees, soils, and other biomasses.
SFI's reach goes beyond certified forests. The SFI 2022 fiber sourcing standard sets SFI apart from all forest certification programs because it has mandatory requirements for the responsible procurement of all fiber, even if it's sourced from non-certified land. Loggers and other harvesting professionals are critical to forest conservation because they implement practices on the ground. SFI principles are designed to ensure that SFI certified organizations make a positive impact in the communities where they operate. SFI certified organizations must be fully aware of relevant laws and regulations. Their harvesting techniques and forest management practices must comply with all legal obligations. At SFI, we take things well beyond the legal and regulatory compliance. SFI certified organizations engage in efforts to raise awareness and take action towards the benefits of fire management and minimization of undesirable impacts of wildfire. SFI certified landowners manage the visual impacts of forest operations to preserve the natural beauty of their forests. SFI certified landowners also manage forests to provide the recreational opportunities for the public. 98% of SFI certified lands are available to the public for recreation. SFI's relationship with Indigenous people is a foundational part of who we are as an organization. We recognize that Indigenous peoples are essential partners in any forest-focused collaboration, and that their full participation will better enable us to collectively advance forest sustainability. One of our principles is protecting special Indigenous sites. Special sites include geologically unique or culturally important features. Culturally modified trees, for example, are an important part of the heritage of Indigenous people.
Project Learning Tree, or PLT, is SFI's award-winning environmental education program designed for educators, parents, and community leaders working with youth from preschool through to grade 12. The program helps youth understand and appreciate the value of well-managed forests, including their important environmental benefits, such as cleaning our air and water, providing renewable products, and sustaining a diversity of communities. PLT does this through hands-on engaging activities that develop students' critical thinking and problem-solving skills.
We collaborate with SICs across Canada and the US to deliver logger training. And actually, in fact, Quebec SIC several years ago produced logger training videos with support from SFI community grant funding. And these videos were instrumental in promoting logger training. The point of this logger training is to communicate the value of SFI certification, enhance understanding of SFI standard requirements, such as climate smart forestry, conserving biodiversity, and protecting health and safety. At SFI, we are committed to collaborating with qualified logging professionals to promote sustainable forestry in Canada and the US.
Loggers play a critical role in achieving sustainable forestry and implementing the SFI standards. And we thank you for your work and commitment. We hope you enjoyed this training video and the chance to learn more about SFI.